In the heart of the Zarketh Empire, a sprawling interstellar conference hall hummed with a cacophony of alien voices. Leaders from various planets, adorned in their opulent robes and shimmering insignias, gathered around a holographic projection displaying the battered yet majestic warship, the *US Valor*. The ship floated eerily in the vastness of space, its hull scarred by age and neglect, yet still holding an air of formidable presence. "Look at this antiquated relic," barked Commander Vaxar, his elongated eyes narrowing as he gestured dismissively at the projection. His voice dripped with contempt. "What is it? An old Earth warship? How quaint." Laughter erupted among the assembled delegates. They exchanged knowing glances, as if the very notion of a human warship posed no real threat. The Zarketh Empire had long dismissed humanity as a forgotten race, their technologies outdated, their military might trivial. Yet beneath the laughter lay an undercurrent of curiosity, an unspoken acknowledgement of humanity's history of resilience. Meanwhile, on the *US Valor*, a small human research team huddled in the cramped command center. Commander Ava Chen, a sharp-minded strategist with a reputation for defying odds, leaned over a console, her brow furrowed in concentration. Beside her, a technician named Miles fiddled with the ship's aging systems, desperately trying to breathe life into the dormant vessel. "Are you sure this is worth our time?" Miles asked, his voice tinged with skepticism. "I mean, it's just an old warship. What could possibly—" "Enough," Ava interrupted, her tone firm. "This ship holds history, and there might be technology here that we've forgotten about. We can't just abandon it." She glanced at the screens, watching as diagnostic readings flickered back to life. Just then, an alarm blared, cutting through the hum of the command center. The ship's AI system, long dormant, was suddenly coming online, its voice crackling through the speakers. "Warning. External signal detected. Approaching unidentified vessels." Ava's heart raced. "What do you mean, unidentified vessels?" She quickly scanned the readings on her screen, her focus sharpening. The data displayed several alien ships approaching at high speed, their silhouettes ominous against the starlit backdrop. Back in the conference hall, Vaxar and his peers were still reveling in their derision, oblivious to the danger unfolding on the ship. "Let them come," he declared with a sneer. "We will teach these humans that their time is over." As the Zarketh ships closed in, the *US Valor* trembled under the weight of its awakening systems. Miles' fingers danced across the controls, trying to stabilize the ship. "Commander, we need to act fast. They're coming right for us." "Activate shields," Ava commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos. She glanced at the readings, watching as the approaching vessels emitted signals of aggression. "We may be outnumbered, but we're not defenseless. Can we access any weapon systems?" "Trying to access main weapon systems now," Miles responded, urgency coding his every word. The screens flickered, displaying fragmented data as he fought against the ship's ancient technology. Come on," Ava muttered under her breath, willing the ship to respond. As the Zarketh ships prepared to engage, she felt a surge of determination. This old thing still had a heartbeat, and they were going to show the galaxy just what humanity could do. In the conference hall, the Zarketh leaders suddenly fell silent. A blip appeared on their monitors, a signal from the *US Valor*. Their laughter faded, replaced by a palpable tension as they realized the humans had awakened their ancient warship. What had once seemed a mere curiosity now felt like a gathering storm. The tables were about to turn, and the Zarketh would soon learn the true meaning of underestimating humanity. As the *US Valor* shuddered violently, its aging systems struggled to respond to the urgent commands. Ava Chen leaned over Miles' shoulder, her eyes darting between the flickering screens. "Any luck with the weapon systems?" She pressed, her pulse racing. "Just a moment," Miles exclaimed, his fingers a blur over the controls. "I'm trying to bypass the core protocols, but it's like trying to wake a sleeping giant. It's been dormant for years." Outside the ship, the Zarkith vessels drew nearer, their sleek forms glinting menacingly against the dark void of space. With each passing second, the tension aboard the Valor escalated. The Zarkath commander, Vaxar, had issued an order to engage, convinced that capturing this relic would be a mere formality. "Ready the shields," Ava shouted, her voice cutting through the mounting anxiety. "We need to buy ourselves time." The ship's AI, Gideon, suddenly crackled to life, its voice resonating through the command center with a clarity that sent shivers down their spines. "Initiating primary systems. Shield activation in progress. Scanning external threats." Ava felt a flicker of hope. "Gideon, can you access weapons systems?" "Affirmative," Gideon replied, and for the first time, Ava sensed a flicker of personality in the AI's voice. "Activating weapon systems. Now." The command center lit up as power surged through the ship. Miles' eyes widened as readouts began to display. "Yes, we're online. We have forward plasma cannons and torpedo launchers ready to fire." Ava's heart raced as she straightened. "All right, let's show them what we're made of." "Gideon, target the lid ship and prepare to fire." "Target acquired." "Engaging now," Gideon announced. With a shudder that reverberated through the ship, the US Valor fired its plasma cannon. The bolt of energy streaked through space, a brilliant flash that illuminated the dark void. It struck the lead Zarkath ship with a thunderous explosion, sending debris spiraling into the darkness. "Direct hit," Ava shouted, exhilaration surging through her. They didn't see that coming. But the Zarkath fleet quickly retaliated, unleashing a volley of energy blasts. The US Valor rocked as the shields absorbed the impact, glowing bright blue. Ava felt the ship's old hull creak and groan, but it held. "Keep us steady, Miles," she commanded, gripping the console as another round of fire struck. "We need to maneuver." "Working on it," Miles grunted, struggling to keep the ship on course. The Valor was still a behemoth, its bulk moving sluggishly compared to the agile Zarkath ships. "If we can just get some speed." "Gideon, can you assist with navigation?" Ava asked, urgency coloring her tone. "Accessing navigation systems, redirecting power to propulsion," Gideon replied, and the ship responded, picking up speed. Ava's instincts kicked in as she plotted their course. "Swing us left and initiate evasive maneuvers. We can't let them corner us." The crew worked in unison, adrenaline coursing through their veins. The US Valor twisted and turned, dodging incoming fire. The Zarkath ships, now taken aback by the unexpected resilience of their quarry, struggled to maintain their formations. "Fire again," Ava ordered, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. The ship unleashed another barrage, striking down 2 more Zarkath vessels in quick succession. Suddenly, Vaxar's voice echoed through the communications channel, a mix of disbelief and fury. "This cannot be. A derelict ship fighting back. How is this possible?" "Commander," Miles said breathlessly, "they're regrouping for another attack." Ava's heart pounded as she focused on the challenge ahead. "We need to make our stand. If we can hold out long enough, we might just turn this around." As the US Valor soared through the chaos of battle, it became clear that this old warship was no mere relic. It was a titan awakening from its slumber, ready to reclaim its place in the universe. With the crew rallying together, they were about to show the Zarkath that humanity's legacy was far from over. The chaotic dance of battle continued around the US Valor, and Ava Chen felt a surge of adrenaline course through her veins. They had survived the initial onslaught, but the Zarkath fleet was regrouping, and their determination to capture the ship was palpable. "Commander," Miles called out, urgency in his voice. "They're changing tactics. They're forming a tighter formation and targeting our engines." "Gideon, can we boost the rear shields?" Ava asked, her mind racing. "Diverting power to act shields," Gideon responded coolly. However, this may affect weapon performance. Do it. We can't lose our mobility, Ava ordered, bracing herself as the ship shuddered under the strain. The crew exchanged nervous glances, but Ava's unwavering focus kept them grounded. As the Zarketh ships maneuvered, Vaxar's voice blared through the comms, dripping with arrogance. You think you can escape? This ship is nothing more than a glorified coffin. Surrender now, and I might spare your lives. Ava clenched her jaw, her determination hardening. He's underestimating us. Gideon, target the lid ship and prepare to fire as soon as they break formation. Affirmative, Gideon replied, and the ship's systems hummed with renewed energy. The Zarketh ships closed in, their sleek forms glinting ominously as they focused their fire. A wave of energy blasts surged toward the Valor *. Ava's heart raced as she shouted, "Evasive maneuvers, Miles." Now, with a deft twist, Miles veered the ship, narrowly avoiding the barrage. "We can't keep this up forever, Commander. They're relentless." "Hold steady," Ava replied, eyes fixed on the tactical display. She needed to think fast. "Gideon, can we use the ship's thrusters to create a burst of speed? We might be able to break through their lines." "Thrusters charge. Preparing for velocity boost," Gideon confirmed. "On my mark," Ava instructed. She watched the Zarketh ships draw closer, their coordinated movements tightening around the Valor. "Now, engage thrusters." The Valor surged forward, the engines roaring to life with a power that resonated through the ship. The sudden burst of speed caught the Zarketh off guard, and Ava seized the moment. "Fire now." A brilliant beam of plasma erupted from the ship, striking the lead Zarketh vessel and sending it spiraling into a nearby asteroid field. "Correct hit," Miles shouted, a grin breaking across his face. "They're breaking formation." "Keep the pressure on," Ava commanded, her heart pounding with exhilaration. She felt the tide beginning to shift, the momentum turning in their favor. The crew worked in sync, firing torpedoes and cannons with renewed vigor, each strike landing with precision. As the Valor tore through the Zarketh formation, the realization dawned on the alien fleet that they were facing a tenacious adversary, not the easy conquest they had anticipated. Vaxar's voice echoed again, tinged with frustration. "Regroup. Target that ship. They cannot be allowed to escape." But the Valor was on a roll, weaving through enemy fire with agility that belied its size. "Gideon, any chance of accessing tactical data from the Zarketh ships?" Ava asked, eyes alight with possibility. "Accessing enemy systems. Now," Gideon replied, the screens flickering as information flooded in. "I can disrupt their targeting systems, giving us an advantage." "Do it," Ava urged. With a swift pulse of energy, the Valor unleashed an electronic wave that disrupted the Zarketh ships' targeting systems. Their weapon fire grew erratic, missing the Valor by wide margins as the crew took full advantage of the chaos. "Fire at will," Ava commanded, and the ship unleashed a barrage of fire, striking down 2 more Zarketh vessels. Cheers erupted in the command center as the crew felt the exhilaration of victory washing over them. The Zarketh fleet, once so confident, began to retreat, their formation fracturing as they scrambled to regain control. Vaxar's voice, now panicked, crackled over the comms. "We must regroup. Fall back." Ava watched the enemy ships scatter, her heart swelling with triumph. They had turned the tide against impossible odds. The US Valor was no longer just a relic. It had become a symbol of resilience and strength, a beacon for humanity's enduring spirit. But deep down, Ava knew this was only the beginning. The Zarketh might retreat today, but they would come back, and she needed to prepare for the battles that lay ahead. As the remnants of the Zarketh fleet retreated into the depths of space, the command center of the US Valor erupted in cheers. The crew, once a disparate group of researchers and engineers, had transformed into a battle-hardened team united by a singular purpose. Ava Chen stood at the center of the celebration, her heart still racing from the adrenaline of the skirmish. "All right, everyone, settle down," she called out, raising her hands to quell the excitement. "We've won this round, but the Zarketh will regroup and come back. We need to be ready." The cheers subsided as the crew turned their attention to her. Miles, still grinning, wiped the sweat from his brow. "That was incredible, Commander. I never thought we'd hold our own against them like that." "Thanks to Gideon," Ava replied, glancing at the flickering screens displaying the ship's status. "But we can't underestimate our enemies. We need to rally more support from the human colonies before they return." Ava's mind raced with possibilities. The Valor had proven its might, but it needed allies. She turned to Gideon. "Can we send a distress signal to the nearest human colonies? We need reinforcements and resources." "Affirmative." "Preparing to transmit," Gideon responded, his voice steady. As the signal went out, Ava watched the monitors, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and anxiety. Would anyone answer the call? Light years away, on a bustling human colony called New Terra, the news of the Valor's awakening spread quickly. Old holographic displays and ancient ships gathered dust in the corners of storage yards, remnants of a bygone era. The settlers, who had long since turned their backs on interstellar conflict, were stirred by tales of the ship's battle against the Zarketh. At a makeshift council meeting, colony leaders gathered, their faces a mix of skepticism and intrigue. An old warship fighting back. One leader scoffed, arms crossed. "What good will that do us? We're no match for the Zarketh." "Maybe not alone," replied a grizzled veteran named Captain Jonah Hale, who had fought in the last human war. "But if we don't stand together, we'll be picked off one by one. This is our chance to reclaim our strength." The room fell silent as Jonah continued. "The US Valor is a symbol. It could unite us, show the Zarketh that humanity isn't finished yet. We owe it to our people to join the fight." A murmur of agreement rippled through the room, and one by one, the leaders began to nod. It was a risk, but it was one worth taking. Back on the US Valor, Ava received a response from New Terra. The screen flickered to life, revealing a group of determined faces, including Captain Hale. "Commander Chen," he said, his voice firm, "we're assembling a coalition of ships to support you. We may be few, but we are ready to fight." "Thank you, Captain," Ava replied, relief washing over her. "Your support will be invaluable. We need every ship we can muster if we're going to stand against the Zarketh." "Understood. We'll be there in a matter of days," Hale assured her. "Prepare for a bumpy ride, Commander. The Zarketh won't take this lying down." As the transmission ended, Ava felt a surge of determination. "We're not just fighting for ourselves anymore. We're fighting for all of humanity," she said, her voice ringing with conviction. "We'll use every resource, every ally we can find." Over the next few days, the crew of the Valor worked tirelessly to prepare for the impending alliance. Engineers repaired and upgraded systems, and the crew trained together, honing their skills for the battles ahead. Each member brought their unique expertise, creating a vibrant tapestry of talent that strengthened their resolve. As the days passed, Ava began to see her crew as more than just a team. They were a family, bound by shared struggles and triumphs. In the quiet moments, she found herself reflecting on the journey ahead. They had awakened a Titan, but they would need to be more than just warriors. They would need to become leaders, uniting the fragmented remnants of humanity against a common foe. As the Valor prepared to receive its allies, Ava stood on the bridge, staring out at the stars. The battle was just beginning, and she knew that they had the potential to rewrite history. They were no longer the forgotten remnants of a once great race. They were poised to reclaim their legacy, and the galaxy would remember the name Valor. With the US Valor poised to receive reinforcements, the atmosphere on board crackled with anticipation. Ava Chen stood on the bridge, surrounded by her crew, each person radiating a newfound sense of purpose. The distant glow of the stars felt like a promise of the battles ahead, but Ava also sensed the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. "Gideon, what's the status of our systems?" Ava asked, crossing her arms as she looked at the displays. "All systems operational and functioning at optimal capacity," Gideon replied, his voice steady. "Weaponry has been fully reloaded, and shields are charged to maximum. We're ready for engagement." "Excellent," she said, nodding. "What about our new allies?" "Communications indicate that the first coalition ships are entering our vicinity now," Gideon confirmed, the screen shifting to display the silhouettes of ships approaching from Mutera. As the vessels docked with the Valor, Ava felt a rush of excitement. Captain Jonah Hale led a small fleet of human ships, their designs a mix of old and new technology, reflecting humanity's resilient spirit. The doors of the docking bay opened, and Hale stepped aboard, his demeanor serious but determined. "Commander Chen," Hale said, extending a hand. "We've come to join the fight." Ava shook his hand firmly, grateful for the support. "We need every ship we can get. The Zarketh will be back soon, and we need to take the fight to them before they regroup." "Agreed," Hale replied, his voice carrying the weight of experience. "We've gathered intel on their movements. They're not just running. They're consolidating their forces. We have a small window of opportunity to strike back." "Let's seize it," Ava said, her resolve strengthening. "Gideon, pull up the latest data on the Zarketh fleet." The display shifted to show a series of flashing red dots representing Zarketh ships, consolidating in a nearby sector. "They're gathering for reinforcements," Ava noted. "If we hit them now, we can disrupt their plans before they're fully operational." Hale studied the data and nodded. "We'll need a two-pronged attack. My fleet can create a diversion, while you and the Valor target their command ship directly. If we can take that out, we'll scatter their forces." "Sounds risky, but it might just work," Ava replied, her heart racing. "We'll have to move quickly. Let's brief the crew and prepare for deployment." The crew of the Valor buzzed with energy as they prepared for the upcoming mission. Ava held a meeting in the command center, her voice steady and commanding. "Listen up, everyone. We've got an opportunity to hit the Zarketh hard while they're still regrouping. This won't be easy, but it's our chance to show them we're not just a relic of the past." The crew responded with nods of determination. Ava continued, "Captain Hale's fleet will engage their forces in a diversionary attack. Our objective is to penetrate their formation and target the command ship. We need to disrupt their coordination and sow chaos among their ranks." A technician raised a hand. "What if they anticipate our move and set a trap?" "Then we'll adapt," Ava replied, confidence surging through her. "Gideon, can you create a simulated scenario for our approach?" "Affirmative. Simulating engagement patterns now," Gideon responded. The room dimmed as the simulation began, displaying various tactical options. The crew studied the projections, analyzing potential strategies and countermeasures. They trained relentlessly, rehearsing maneuvers and adjusting their tactics. The atmosphere became electric with focus and determination, and as the hours passed, Ava felt a profound sense of unity among her crew. When the time finally came, the Valor and the Coalition fleet launched into space, engines roaring with power. Ava stood on the bridge, her hands gripping the console as the stars stretched into lines of light around them. "Gideon, set course for the Zarketh command ship," she commanded. "Course plotted. Engaging," Gideon replied. As they approached the enemy sector, the vast silhouettes of Zarketh ships loomed ahead, a menacing wall of metal and energy. Ava took a deep breath, her mind racing. "Let's do this," she whispered, feeling the weight of every life aboard the Valor resting on her shoulders. "Here we go," Hale said, his voice a steady anchor. "For humanity. For humanity." The crew echoed, their voices rising in unison as the Valor surged forward, ready to reclaim their place in the stars. The stage was set for a battle that would determine their fate, and Ava was ready to lead her crew into the fray. The stars around the U.S. Valor shimmered like diamonds as Ava Chen and her crew closed in on the Zarketh command ship. The atmosphere on the bridge was charged with tension, anticipation crackling in the air like electricity. They were about to engage in a battle that could change the course of their war against the Zarketh Empire. "Gideon, status report," Ava commanded, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. "Approaching Zarketh command ship. All systems operational. Enemy vessels are forming a defensive perimeter," Gideon replied, his voice calm amid the rising adrenaline. "Have we received any updates from Captain Hale?" Ava asked, glancing at the comms display. "Captain Hale's fleet has engaged the enemy successfully. They're drawing the majority of Zarketh forces away from our target," Gideon reported. "Good. We'll need that distraction," Ava said, steeling herself. "Let's move in. Prepare to fire on my mark." As they neared the command ship, Ava's heart raced. But just as she was about to give the order to engage, a transmission crackled through the comms. "Valor, this is Commander Zarek of the Zarketh forces. I propose a temporary ceasefire." The bridge fell silent. Ava's brow furrowed. "Who is this?" "Zarek." The voice continued, a hint of urgency threading through his tone. "I am not aligned with the Zarketh Empire's intentions. I've seen their tyranny firsthand. I wish to discuss an alliance against them." Ava exchanged glances with Miles, who looked equally perplexed. "Can we trust him?" he whispered. "We don't have much choice," Ava replied, weighing the options. "If he's telling the truth, he could be a valuable ally." "Gideon, can we analyze the origin of the transmission?" "Analyzing now," Gideon responded. "Signal integrity is high. It appears to be genuine." "Put him through," Ava commanded. The display flickered, and a holographic image of Zarek appeared. His features were sharp, with a silver crest running along his brow that signified his rank. "Commander Chen," he said, his voice steady but laced with urgency. "If we do not act quickly, the Zarketh will crush both our forces. They see your attack as a mere annoyance, but they are gathering for a counteroffensive." Ava studied him closely. "Why should we trust you?" "The Zarketh have long viewed humanity as nothing but prey." "I understand your skepticism," Zarek replied, his tone earnest. "But I am not like them. My faction seeks peace and autonomy. I propose we work together to take down their command ship. In doing so, we can destabilize their empire and secure freedom for both our peoples." Ava's mind raced. This could be a trap, but if Zarek was genuine, this was an opportunity they couldn't afford to ignore. "If we do this, you must commit your forces to assist us fully," she said, her voice firm. "Agreed. We will fight alongside you," Zarek promised. "Gideon, what's our status?" Ava asked, her resolve solidifying. "Zarketh forces are still focused on Captain Hale's fleet. This is our best chance," Gideon replied. "We can proceed with the alliance." "All right," Ava said, taking a deep breath. "Zarek, we'll accept your alliance, but know that any treachery will be dealt with swiftly. Prepare your ships for engagement." "I understand," Zarek replied, nodding. "We'll coordinate our attack." As the two forces joined together, Ava felt a surge of hope and trepidation. They were now part of an unlikely coalition, united by necessity rather than trust. But with the Zarketh command ship looming ahead, there was no turning back. "Let's move," Ava commanded, her voice steady. "Gideon, plot a course to flank the command ship. We need to strike before they can regroup." The Valor surged forward, joined by Zarek's sleek vessels, their combined forces a testament to the resilience of both humanity and the disenchanted Zarketh. As they approached their target, Ava felt the weight of history pressing upon her shoulders. They were fighting not just for survival, but for the future of their peoples. As the two fleets positioned themselves, Ava took a moment to glance at her crew, their faces reflecting a mixture of determination and uncertainty. "Today, we make our stand," she declared, her voice strong. "Together, We'll show the galaxy that we are not to be underestimated." With a roar of engines, the U.S. Valor and its new allies charged into the fray, ready to face the looming shadows of the Zarketh command ship and the uncertain future that awaited them. As the U.S. Valor and Zarek's fleet surged toward the Zarketh command ship, the tension on the bridge was palpable. Ava Chen stood resolute, her heart pounding with anticipation. The enormous silhouette of the enemy ship loomed ahead, its dark hull bristling with weaponry. This was it, the moment they would either shatter the Zarketh's hold over the region or face dire consequences. "Gideon, what's the status of their defenses?" Ava asked, her voice steady. "Zarketh shields are currently operational, but their focus is on Captain Hale's fleet," Gideon reported. "If we time our assault correctly, we may exploit a weakness in their rear shield." "Zarek, can your ships create a diversion?" Ava turned to the Zarketh commander, who stood beside her on the bridge, his expression tense but determined. "Absolutely," Zarek replied, nodding. "We'll draw their fire while you target the command ship's core. Let's synchronize our attack," Ava said, her mind racing with strategy. "On my mark, we'll strike simultaneously. Prepare for evasive maneuvers, and let's keep communication open." As the two fleets positioned themselves, Ava's heart raced. The alliance felt tenuous, a fragile thread that could snap at any moment. But she pushed the doubt aside. They had no choice but to trust one another. "Now," Ava shouted, her voice ringing out across the bridge. "All ships, engage." The Valor surged forward, flanked by Zarek's agile vessels, which darted toward the Zarketh command ship like fireflies drawn to a flame. Energy bolts lit up the darkness of space as the Zarketh fleet opened fire, focusing on the incoming threat. Ava maneuvered the Valor expertly, weaving between enemy fire while locking onto the command ship's rear shields. "Gideon, fire at will." The ship's plasma cannons roared to life, sending bolts of energy streaking toward their target. Each blast struck true, weakening the enemy's defenses. Zarek's ships darted in and out, drawing the Zarketh's fire and creating chaos among their ranks. "They're faltering," Zarek shouted, his voice a mixture of excitement and determination. "Keep pushing." Ava felt a surge of exhilaration as they began to penetrate the command ship's defenses. Maintain fire. Focus on their core. But just as they began to breach the defenses, the Zarketh retaliated. A wave of energy blasts surged toward the Valor striking hard against its shields. The ship shuddered, alarms blaring in warning. "Status report," Ava demanded, gripping the console. "Shields at 70%. Miles called out, his eyes wide. "We need to pull back and regroup." "Not yet," Ava shouted. "We're too close. We can't lose this chance." With determination fueling her decision, Ava pressed on, sending the Valor deeper into the fray. "Gideon, can we overload the plasma cannon for a concentrated shot?" "Risky, but possible," Gideon replied. "It may disable the weapon temporarily." "Do it," Ava ordered, her heart racing. "We need to take out their core now." The Valor surged forward, the main cannon glowing with intensity as Gideon initiated the overload sequence. "Prepare for maximum energy discharge," he warned. As the Zarketh ships closed in, their fire growing more frantic, Ava felt the weight of their mission pressing heavily upon her. "For humanity," she shouted, echoing the rallying cry. The Valor fired, a massive bolt of energy tearing through the void. The shot struck the command ship's core with explosive force, and the resulting shockwave rippled through the surrounding space, lighting up the darkness. "Direct hit," Miles yelled, his voice a mix of disbelief and joy. The command ship's shields flickered, and the vessel began to tremble, alarms blaring from within. "They're destabilizing," Zarek shouted, his eyes wide with excitement. "Now's our chance." "Push forward," Ava commanded, rallying her crew. "Let's finish this." The combined fleets pressed the attack, exploiting the confusion within the Zarketh ranks. Ava watched in awe as Zarek's ships coordinated their fire, breaking through the last remnants of the enemy's defenses. As the command ship began to crumble, Ava felt a wave of triumph wash over her. They were doing it. They were pushing the Zarketh back, reclaiming their agency. The tide was turning, and with each victory, hope surged within her heart. But as the command ship faltered, Ava knew this battle was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, and the Zarketh would not rest easily. She turned to her crew, their faces filled with determination. "Stay focused. This isn't over yet. Let's finish what we started." The Zarketh command ship was in chaos, alarms blaring as its hull shuddered under the assault. Ava Chen stood firm on the bridge of the U.S. Valor, adrenaline coursing through her veins. They had dealt a significant blow to the enemy, but the fight was far from over. "Gideon, get us a tactical read on the remaining Zarketh forces," Ava ordered, her eyes scanning the chaos unfolding outside. Analyzing. "The enemy fleet is in disarray. Many are attempting to retreat," Gideon reported, his tone steady amidst the turmoil. "However, they are regrouping faster than anticipated. Zarek, can your ships intercept their escape routes?" Ava turned to the Zarketh commander, whose expression was a mix of determination and urgency. "Yes, we can cut them off," Zarek replied, his gaze sharp. "But we must act quickly. If we let them escape, they will regroup and return stronger." "Then let's move," Ava commanded. "We need to ensure they can't escape to lick their wounds." As they maneuvered through the battlefield, the combined fleets of the Valor and Zarek's forces sprang into action, targeting the Zarketh ships that attempted to flee. The energy of the moment surged through Ava as she felt the weight of their alliance solidifying into something real. The Valor glided seamlessly through the debris of the destroyed command ship, her weapons systems primed for engagement. Ava focused on the task at hand, heart racing. "Gideon, target the ships trying to break formation. We need to stop them from regrouping." Firing at will, Gideon confirmed, and the Valor unleashed a torrent of fire toward the retreating Zarketh fleet. The explosions lit up the darkness, illuminating the determination on her crew's faces. "We're pushing them back," Miles shouted, his voice filled with excitement. "Keep it up." Ava felt a swell of pride for her crew. They had transformed from a team of researchers to warriors, fighting for their future. "Maintain formation." "Zarek, how are your ships faring?" "We are holding strong," Zarek replied, his own fleet engaging the Zarketh vessels with newfound vigor. "We will not let them escape." As the battle raged on, Ava's heart surged with hope. The Zarketh were losing their grip, their formations fracturing under the combined might of their alliance. Yet, in the back of her mind, a nagging thought lingered. What would come next? "Gideon, any news from Captain Hale?" she asked, trying to divert her worries. "Communications indicate he is engaging the last remnants of the Zarketh forces. He reports significant losses on their side," Gideon replied. "They are faltering." "Let's finish this," Ava declared, her voice resonating with determination. "All ships, we push forward together." The fleet surged ahead, united in purpose. The Zarketh ships, once so confident, were now panicking as they faced the relentless advance of the Valor and their new allies. The battle that had once seemed insurmountable now felt like a victory just within reach. Suddenly, a massive Zarketh dreadnought, the Tyrant's Grasp emerged from the shadows, its weapons primed and ready. "This could turn the tide against us," Zarek warned, eyes narrowing. "We need to focus fire on that ship," Ava commanded. "Gideon, can we overload the shields for a concentrated shot?" "Affirmative." Preparing for maximum energy discharge, Gideon confirmed, and the tension in the air grew thick. "On my mark," Ava shouted, adrenaline flooding her senses. 3, 2, 1. Fire. The Valor unleashed its full might, a brilliant beam of energy arcing through space to strike the dreadnought directly. The impact was catastrophic. The Zarkath ship erupted in a fiery explosion, marking a pivotal moment in the battle. Cheers erupted on the bridge. Direct hit. Miles shouted, a broad grin on his face. With their command ship gone and their last stronghold shattered, the remaining Zarkath forces began to scatter. The coalition pressed their advantage, continuing to dismantle the enemy fleet. As the dust settled, Ava allowed herself a moment to breathe, looking out at the debris and remnants of the battle. "We did it," she whispered, her heart swelling with pride. Zarek turned to her, his expression sincere. "This is just the beginning, Commander. Together, we can build something new. A future where our people are free from oppression." Ava nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. They had forged an alliance against a common foe, but it was clear they needed to redefine their relationships moving forward. As the fleet began to regroup, the stars shimmered above them, a vast expanse of uncharted territory. They had faced adversity and emerged victorious. But now came the greater challenge, rebuilding and ensuring that the galaxy would remember this day as the dawn of a new era. "For humanity," Ava shouted, her voice carrying through the comms, echoed by the coalition fleet. "For humanity," her crew and allies shouted back, united in purpose and ready to face whatever came next.